Happy New Year, everybody. Stephanie here. All right, I hope everybody cheers to 2022, even though, 2020 and 2021, we are all like, yeah, it's going to be different. It's going to be great. Not to be a Debbie Downer, but it's going to get a little crazier this year. But personally, I think that we have to learn how to adapt in this new world of normal without losing ourselves, which can be really hard because it's depressing, it's depleting. We're entering an age of transhumanism, to where basically everything's going to be virtual. We got the metaverse coming. We have all this stuff coming at us all at one time, and it's at such a rapid pace. It seems very overwhelming because it is, and technology is ever growing, and AI is a beast. And it's like I don't know what happened, but like the past year, it just seems like we entered this parallel universe, and we're all like trying to figure out how to get through it and how to navigate it. But collectively, I think with the negativity in the media and in society, I honestly think we're manifesting this because our consciousness is what creates reality. Without the a collective, with that energy of bringing certain things, positive attracts positive, negative attracts negative. We're manifesting this and we're allowing it because we've just given up. We've literally given up, and I refuse to give up. I'm not going to. I'm going to be happy regardless of what happens because I know whatever is going to happen, it's out of my control. But I'm just not going to let it control me. I am so sick and tired of things controlling me. And I'm the type of person, I hate liars. I hate people who are bad. It bothers me and it irks me to my core. And, at the same time, I'm angry and upset and I'm stressed because I have kids and I'm looking at them thinking, my God, like in schools, they're getting, away with D's and F's. And, it's just like all this stuff that we're experiencing is just like, what? It's, it's like, with that, I forget what the name of it is, but they have, what is it? This conductor where they can do the God particle, basically make their own, like, black hole universe type, what is it, conductor or something like that? I don't know. Maybe like some of these scientists fucked around and opened some kind of crazy porthole, and we entered this parallel universe of freaking crazy, upside down, backwards world. I mean, you look out front of the Rockefeller Center, and they have like all these statues that are demigods. You have statues in Switzerland of this like demon thing eating babies. It's pretty it's very obvious that we're in a heavy spiritual war, and there is dark and there is light. And I honestly believe that a lot of us are finding each other because we're supposed to at this time of humanity. I believe we're all here at this time for a reason. And I'm not going to lie, some days I cry because it's just like, it's not going to stop. And And I think that's what's so hard for some people to understand when they're they're obsessed with one person who is their idol, and they think is going to do something great and save them, but at the end of the day, that's you got to save yourself. I mean, people are opportunists, and we see it everywhere. I mean, you got women and children, coming across the border, being horrible things being done to them, people ignoring it. I mean, all the horrible things going on that people ignore, just like Ghislaine Maxwell, all these things. We all know it. It's there, and the media ignores it. And Fauci lied, and just like 30 years ago, Dr. Fauci was called out for being, a manipulator of things and of mass genocide during the AIDS epidemic. And that also was, one of those questionable viruses that was released, and they tried to make it about all the gays, and they beat gay guys and they killed them and they did all these things. And it put a stereotype on gays, which I think is horrible. So fast track 30 years from now. I mean, Dr. Fauci even came out in an interview, it's like 30 years ago. Just look it up, you'll see it. Where he was saying that AIDS can be contracted in a household just just by being around it. He was completely wrong about everything. But in that time, that is personal to me because my aunt, my mom's sister, um, gave birth to my cousin, and she was given a blood transfusion. And back then, they didn't test blood for AIDS or HIV. And then 10 years later, she got a letter in the mail saying to come get tested. Well, she had it. And I remember my cousin telling me that the reason they said pneumonia was the death, and because I always questioned that, why was it pneumonia? Like people just don't die of pneumonia who are completely healthy, you know? And well, because back then, you know, they're worried, you know, my uncle and my cousins, you know, because Dr. Fauci saying if you're just in the household with somebody who has something, you'll get it. So it was that whole stigma, that fear that these, get away from them. You know what I mean? And my cousins were telling me that nobody could say anything because they didn't want their neighbors hating them and the kids not wanting to play with each other and basically treating them like lepers because of people like Dr. Fauci. I honestly think that guy should be in front of a firing squad. He shouldn't just resign or be fired. He should for real be punished because this isn't his first rodeo with a virus. He did it with AIDS too. I mean, have you ever noticed that like all these AIDS commercials on TV, and you know, like every other commercials for like AIDS medication? All I mean, it's just never ending. And to me, it's just like they manipulate things, they lie about things, and then after a certain period of time, certain generations move on, other things happen, and the way things are going so quickly right now with technology and being able to look up information, well, we tend to forget other stuff because we're so bombarded with all this new information because we have computers, we have like our phones, everything is, we can find everything now. Back then you couldn't. So it created a lot of problems for a lot of people. And Dr. Fauci has a lot of blood on his hands. And he was even accused of being behind tyrannical medical genocide with the AIDS epidemic. And he never had consequences. You know how I always say, like, this has been going on for generations, but people just don't want to acknowledge it? Well, I mean, think about it. They keep talking about how, you know, the older people right now, they're going to die off, and then there will be nobody to fight against their, you know, new system of how they want to run things. And to me, it's like, yeah, I go online and I look at this global agenda, world order, and I love how they push it as like, you know what, everybody will be treated fairly. It's a globalization. Everybody, no, 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 no. Stop. The Illuminati all over Twitter is trying to say they are here to bring us the light, and we need one global rule, one global everything in order to bring peace and equality. No, I don't think so. I don't think that's the case at all. Quit lying. Quit manipulating people. And I honestly think the best advice I can give for people for 2022 is turn off your fucking TV. Turn it off. Don't listen to these people. Like my niece right now got a cold, and you know, the fear of the Omicron. Okay, you can psychologically, if someone tells you you have cancer or you're sick, you will think about it. Your brain is like a control panel. So if you tell yourself something, your body is going to feel it. You're going to manifest it because it's in your head. And we're programmed. We are computers. We're basically programmed at birth. If you think about it, you'll go walk off the side of a couch or a bed, and you learn as you get older from what happens to you. So you have to learn how to deprogram yourself from the program and to step out of the matrix. And once you step out of the matrix, you realize, God, it's such a beautiful place. It is. And right now I find myself being stuck between like a 3D and 5D. Like I can get up to like seventh dimension when I meditate and stuff like that. But the minute like I come out of a deep trance and meditation, everything around me, I'm just like, ugh, and it spiritually brings me right back down into the 3D. So, and I think that's why I stay off, social media, and I don't, I'm just highly sensitive to this kind of stuff. Not because I am obsessed with it, because a lot of people are like, well, you should do this, then do that. I don't care about it. Well, there's something in me that's not letting me stop caring. And for some reason, God gave me this gift of seeing things. And God, not a man, like a human, the spirit, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. This is a gift, and people take it for granted. And at the end of the day, people don't even know who they are. So in like 2022, think for yourself. Don't worry about anybody else. Fuck what people think, fuck what they say, because at the end of the day, they don't pay your bills. They're not going to take care of your kids. And that's what makes me mad. It's like I'm watching these schools and everything going on, because like my son, I got a phone call from his school apparently for bullying. And I'm like, what? Yeah, your son was bullying. Him and his friend were bullying. I'm like, okay, what happened? They were playing basketball with each other, and my son called his friend weak, and they were talking crap to each other, and they got in trouble for bullying. But they're just two boys in junior high playing basketball. But because they used mean language, and they literally have little snitches, the vice president, the assistant principal told me, well, I have like a thing where they know they can come talk to me. And I'm just like, you know what, you can't do this anymore. Like, you can't have a snitch program where it's all about drama, because I even called him out. I'm like, it seems to me y'all aren't paying attention to teaching these kids anything. It's more like y'all are just gossiping, and somebody said something that hurt their feelings. No, 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 no. And I'm just like, so my son was being a boy playing basketball with his friend, and they were talking crap to each other, so they got in trouble for bullying. And like I started kind of going off, and then I didn't know my son was in the room and they had me on speakers. They were like, okay, you have to like hold on, we're gonna get your son out of the room. I was like, why would you have him on speaker to begin with? And he's confused. He doesn't even know why he's in trouble. And he's like, I was like, what did you do? He's like, I was just playing basketball with my best friend. He's like, I didn't raise my kids to be pussies like this. I didn't. I raised them to think freely, not hold back. Do not be a follower. You be a leader. Don't be a people pleaser either, because you can never please people. Once you become that person, people will forever take advantage of you, walk all over you. You got to have a backbone. And when it's just like when I go on Twitter and all that, I see all these Congress, all the Republicans, all these, government officials talking, well, this and that. Shut up. All of y'all have done is talk and talk and talk and talk for years. This has been going on since 2015. No, it's been going on since Obama took office. It's been going on since Bush. It's been going on forever. It's not going to change. It's not going to change until people realize that even though there's a huge gap of people who have children and don't have children, because Obama did the whole, well, your education is key. You got to get your education, not having children. The world's overpopulated. Then we brought all these refugees over here and all these other people because, well, the population was dying because people weren't having kids. So you have like this gap of people, like 10-year gap, where people didn't really have kids. So they don't understand, what it's like to have children who are a part of a society that is kind of mob rule. I mean, Hitler would be proud right now. He'd be very freaking proud. Hitler is probably like celebrating somewhere. For real. Mm-hmm. I mean, look around you. There's no way to deny it. No way. And so it's hard for me, like when people who I talk to who don't have kids, or they don't really have, because if I didn't have kids and I didn't, I wouldn't care either. I wouldn't pay attention to anything, but I do have children. So the people that don't care and they're either older to where they're like, well, I'm not going to be around for that part. I'll be dead anyway. That's not the right attitude either. I mean, we didn't we didn't come this far in humanity to just roll over and give up. You have to step up because your grandchildren, your future grandchildren, your future children, our children right now are the ones they're going to suffer the consequences. They're the ones who are going to pay for all this because adults are too lazy and weak and stupid and they have no backbone and they're too scared or they're so programmed to obey. Well, how's that working? I mean, everybody wants to be nice and everybody wants to do the good thing, but at the end of the day, that's not the real world we live in. That's a reality world of, sugar plums and gumdrops and rainbows and shit that doesn't exist. Like 20 fucking genders. Shit doesn't exist. And we've become like such a society of compliance because we don't want to be unliked. Um, it's gotten so sick to where you have women who go on social media like Twitter and all these other outlets, and it's like Munchausen syndrome by proxy. They have kids with autism. I saw this one chick. She's like, "Oh, my son likes to do this. He knows I'm recording him." The kid is young. He's freaking out, throwing things at her, telling her he's going to kill her, and she's recording him. This is what it's like every day as a mother with a child with autism. Uh, Munchausen, you're abusing your kid. He's getting more and more angry the more and more you record him. Common sense would say, stop recording him. He's clearly getting agitated. And she is doing it for this whole sympathy thing. And there's a lot of people doing that right now with their kids for social media. And that's another thing. Like social media has gotten so dark too. And like me, I loathe. To me, I just don't. I don't want to have to take selfies all the time. I don't want to have to like. I'm good. I like do memes, and people always ask me, "Well, why don't you post more pictures?" What does it matter, dude? Like, what? What is the obsession with selfies and fitting this social crap? What is wrong with being different? What is wrong with being authentic, being yourself, being your own person? Why are people so threatened by that? Well, people are threatened by people who are way stronger than them, and only weak people have to oppress people from their own individuality. And I refuse for my kids to be indoctrinated like that. I refuse for my kid, like right now, because that fair grading system that's supposed to make everybody pass, well, they failed my son because they don't grade them on whether they get it right or not. It's you have to follow their directions. So it's basically like what China, it's worse than what China does, worse than North Korea. They're literally just saying, look, you don't even have to get it right. Math isn't right. It's racist, everything, blah, 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 forget it all. Just, can you follow directions? And if you really think about it, why are they dumbing them down to this point? It's because, well, it's Captain fucking obvious. We're not needed. We are so replaceable. But people are too stuck on identity politics and victimhood and their righteousness and I deserve this, la 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 la. At the end of the day, it's like, yeah, not really. Your hardships are your own problem. You made the choices you made. And I get pissed off when people talk about, how they had a hard life. Let me tell you something. I grew up dirt poor. I remember having to go with my dad to like gas stations to like get cans out of trash cans to recycle them just so we could eat dinner. I grew up poorer than dirt, dude. And I busted my ass. I did everything I had to do to get to where I wanted to be in life. And I'm still not where I fully want to be. Because to me, I'm not a victim of anything. I'm a survivor. Things happen and you're supposed to overcome them, not dwell in it. So I think in 2022, we all need to stop dwelling in the election and this and that, because you know what, Hillary Clinton, Obama, all of it, Condoleezza Rice, all of this stuff that all these people are fixated on, and QAnon. Y'all don't put me in no stereotypical box. I've never been a Q follower. To me, it's lame. Like, there's some random dude who's like, I'm sorry, no, it doesn't make any sense. But that's how desperate people are. That's how desperate people are for hope. They just want something or somebody to tell them it's going to be okay. We're going to make it. Life is going to get better. But the truth is, it's not. It's going to get more intense. The spiritual war is going to intensify. Shit's going to get worse. So you just have to prepare yourself mentally, emotionally, and physically, and get your house in order and educate your kids to reality of what's going on. Don't bubble wrap them. Don't shield them from reality. You're doing your children harm by doing that. When you don't tell your kids what's really going on in the real world, when they go in the real world, they don't know how to act. They don't know how to cope. And that's why you see all this derangement. It's insane. God, it's so sick. But even though there's so much evil, at the end of the day, you just gotta find gratitude that you're breathing, you're living, and you got endless opportunities. You just have to learn how to adapt into a new life without losing yourself and giving away your dignity and your free will and separating yourself from this bullshit matrix. We live in a controlled simulation. It's very fucking prevalent to see that. And you have to learn how to stay spiritually connected and not getting caught up in that hate, because, I mean, the suicide rates, I mean, all this stuff going on, and with this Omicron variant, they're scaring people, and it's wrong. It's wrong to fear people. You guys should seriously look up. I can't play the video because I broke my No, I didn't break my laptop. I know who broke my laptop, but my son denies it. And he's like my baby, so I can't like be mad at him. I'm just like, okay, it just happened. The fairy came in and smashed it. And well, yeah, so I can't really look it up right now, but 30 years ago there was I forget his name. I'm really bad with names. He came out and said how, the health department, the CDC, all of them, it's just all mass genocide and the media is involved. That was 30 years ago when Dr. Fauci was called out for the HIV epidemic, and he's still here controlling things. And now they got COVID pills, and I'm surprised they don't have like patches where you can just put them on you like Nicorette and you just get be pumped with this shit. But oh gosh, and there's something else to look forward to coming in 2022 in New York. Krijlam. Krijlam is Christianity, Muslim, and Jews all worshiping in one religion, all together in one center. One religion, one world economy, one class rule. We are merely the peasants to obey. You know how, like, the Roman Empire, their Colosseum, how they literally killed Christians in the center of it? They were pagans. Like, people, oh God, our history was lied. Everything you've ever been taught, everything you know is a freaking lie. And people are trying to get this information out, and they're so hated on. And I think that's why it bothers me so much, because I don't let it affect me to the point where like I'm angry or anything like that. I honestly feel a lot of sympathy for people, because it's like, God, if you only knew what has been done to you, if you only knew. And the reality, like what they say, you can't handle the truth. I don't think people can. And I think that's why a lot of people just put their head in the sand, because it's easier to deny reality than to have to go within and realize, damn, this is real. This is really happening. Because, I mean, truth be told, all those conspiracies, they happen. They're happening. So, I'm in Texas, and it's like the one state still standing, but they're damn determined to turn it blue. Trust me, they are. They're out hardcore, and just the way they're going with this Omicron and stuff, I honestly, guys, we're going to have another lockdown is coming. And I think the beginning of COVID, when they did the homeschooling and all that, I think that was just a test run for their systems so they can, work out all the bugs and stuff. Because you have to look at it, they're still putting all this money into these online programs and, teachers coming out, I feel like I'm going to die and I don't want to get. It's fucking fear. Like, my niece is sick. My brother is like, I don't know. I'm like, calm down. Remember, cold flu season. And not only that, we all have severe allergies. There's allergies, there's colds, there's flus, there's sniffles. Like, there's a ton of things you can get sick from. It's not just COVID or, damn, I said COVID. Now I'm going to be in the algorithm. But COVID's not going anywhere, guys. It's going to be here for a while. And it was designed that way. So, my New Year's resolution is to come on here and be as positive as I can, make fun of all the dumbness, be more consistent, and more appreciative of all you guys who watch my videos and supported me. Because even though I was in my own little dark place for a little while, I forgot that just because I don't have 1 million followers or, 10,000 or more, I felt like, okay, well, I'm nothing. It doesn't matter if I make a video or not. But at the same time, there's people who've been watching my videos since I first started doing them. There's people who follow me on Twitter and all my other accounts. And those people that I bonded with, even though, and that sucks, right? That you have to bond with people over the internet because you can't even talk to the people around you about what's going on. That to me is even more sickening. We become a society to where we're scared to talk. And my resolution is to be more dedicated to my channel and to not let this negativity get to my empathic ass, because I'm very empathic. I'm very intuitive, very clairvoyant. And I feel this energy. I feel it and I see it and I see what's happening and I know what the future holds. I know it's coming because I have psychic tendencies. I dreamt my mom's death. There's a lot of things I dream of. Actually, the past couple nights, I woke up crying over things that I see, and it's terrifying to me. But I know there's nothing I can do about it. No matter how much I scream and yell and get upset and cuss and rant and rave in videos or posts, like, I get shadow banned. Like, majority of you guys, I appreciate you. They don't, when you post, especially, I think it's Jeffrey, Greg Jeffrey, I don't know. You told me to follow you on Facebook or whatever. They keep deleting your comments. Majority of people who support what I'm saying and they have, good commentary, they delete the comments. They don't even tell me I'm getting notifications. They hide me in searches. They delete my subscribers. It's like, where's the Wizard of Oz? Where's the man behind the curtain? I want to find the man behind the curtain. I want to talk to my sim controller, bitch. I want to say, look, sim controller, we're just gonna be friends real quick. We're just gonna say one thing to you. I just want to talk to my sim controller. I just want to figure out how to navigate this matrix. Well, it's kind of good to know. Well, honestly, get into the metaphysical. Get into the metaphysical because it'll set you free. You realize that this is a mind prison. Don't be stuck in the mind prison. I was actually very blessed this Christmas. I got myself some moldavite, and I have not felt better. And moldavite is actually from an asteroid that crashed 15 million years ago. It's actually a very rare crystal, very expensive, but it's amazing. I'm very much into that. I used to not be. I grew up in a very strict, like, Catholic dad and all that kind of stuff, but now I see it for what it is, and Christianity isn't what people think it is. It was manipulated. And I'm just going to enjoy the ride. And I'm going to do the best I can to be as goofy and silly, as funny and upbeat as I can about all this crazy around us, because without each other and without supporting each other. Riley, no. Fireworks are going off, guys. Sorry. So, without supporting each other and being there for each other, we will fall. And even though it seems hopeless and like just conforming, we have each other. Don't give up. Don't ever quit fighting for what's right. Because the minute you quit fighting is the minute you surrendered and you literally become soulless and dead inside. So what's the purpose of living if you're already dead? You know what I mean? I don't know, guys. So here, I will top it off. Cheers, lovelies. Happy New Year's. I love you all. And I hope you have a blessed freaking year. Like, I'm sending the most positive, happy vibes out to all of you. I hope everything is amazing. And regardless of how bad things get, look around you and just be grateful for the little things. You have healthy kids, or you don't, even though things are a little stressful, look at what you have around you and the abundance and what you're blessed with, because sometimes we forget how fortunate we are, because when you look in other places of the world, it could be a lot worse. And the superficial material bullshit, when it's all gone, you cut off the internet, you take away the houses, the cars, the Lambos, Kylie Jenner and her makeup, and the Kardashians, and all this bullshit. What do you have? You're left with yourself to be alone. And honestly, I don't think people can handle much more than a couple hours by themselves with no phone or nobody to entertain them or nothing going on, because they can't handle what goes on in their head. So they just have to stay preoccupied because they're not strong enough to deal with their own thoughts and work out their problems. But don't let them get you that level of crazy. Stay strong. Happy New Year. Love you. Bye.